Good evening, Year 10. It's Mrs. Glass. Welcome to the first of whoever knows how many video tutorials to help people with tricky concepts. So this one is called my Flood Hydrograph 101. An introduction to this tricky concept, or so it seems. That some of you have said you have found difficult last week, so I've promised a few of you video tutorials using my nice new visualizer that Mr. Tilling bought me a few weeks back. Bought the World Affairs faculty actually, but I'm trialing it for now. Okay, so flood hydrograph. Basically, a hydrograph means a graph showing water, because hydro is like water in Latin or Greek. Okay. So a bit of maths and a bit of geography going on here. Don't let that put you off. So on this graph then, we've got two graphs. We've got a bar chart and we've got a line graph. The bar chart shows rainfall or precipitation if it's in a cold place and it's snowing. And the line graph shows the water in the river, okay? But water in the river as it moves is called discharge, because basically the river is discharging the water out of the system. Okay, so discharge, because it's water, it's measured in cubic meters per second, how fast it's flowing, and along the x-axis we've got time. Normally that's hours, like 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour, and so on. Okay, base flow here, the dashed line is the water that is in underground, and then the area here is the river water. Okay, and depending how big the river is, the river might only be able to carry this much water, this dashed line here. So once the river gets up to this point, it's about to flood. So we'll talk about that later. Okay, that's how high the river level can be. So here we've got a rains 1 hour. It rains even more on the second hour, so much so that's the highest amount of rainfall, so that's called the peak rainfall there. And then on the third hour it's still raining but not as much, and then on the fourth hour it stops raining, no more rain. Okay, you'll notice that normally the river's quite low at its base flow, but after a while, when it's been raining, it takes a while for the river to react to it, to respond. But the river level starts to rise because this rainwater is getting into the river. The river starts to rise, and then it rises quite rapidly here, fills up quite quickly. Once it gets to this point, the river's full, so any of this will spill over onto the land. That's called storm flow. Okay, and then once you get to the top, that's your peak discharge. That's as high as the river level gets up in response to this rainstorm. And then because the rain stopped, eventually there's no more water going to the river, so the river level will eventually drop back down. Probably takes a bit longer than it did to fill up, and then return to its normal base flow after maybe 24 hours or something like that. Okay, so that's what a hydrograph is. It's basically showing you how a river responds to rainfall. Now, the time between the peak rainfall and the peak discharge is called the lag time. If you've ever been walking with your friends and your friend's been slow and you've said, come on, you're lagging, basically that means catch up, like, you know, you're behind. So a river is always behind the rainfall. It doesn't rain and the river fills up instantly at the same time. The river will always take a bit longer to fill up. But some rivers have a short lag time and some rivers have a very long lag time. And this is where you can see down here the difference on these two simplified flood hydrographs. You can see they've taken everything else out, and all you can see is the discharge. So imagine the rainfall is the same on these graphs. We've got to think about why this river here fills up much quicker, goes much higher, is going to flood, okay, compared to this river. Same amount of rainfall, takes a lot longer to fill up, the peak is much later, and then the return to base flow is much slower, and to do with different things. Okay, this river here is much more likely to be in an urban area where there's concrete and tarmac on the floor, buildings in the way, and trees have been cut down. There's no fields, there's not much soil exposed. So when it rains, the water gets channeled straight into a drain, and the drain empties straight out into the river, so the river fills up quickly. Okay, In this one, it might be in the countryside. There's lots of trees. The rain gets stuck on the leaves and might not even make it to the ground because it could be like evaporated again. That's called transpiration. Could be evaporated off of the leaves of the trees, might not even make it to the ground. Some of the water that does make it to the ground takes a lot longer to get there because it's resting on leaves and it drips down through the trees slowly. That's called interception. Sometimes the water gets to the bottom, to the ground, but then the roots suck it back up so it doesn't go into the river. So this kind of river here will probably have a lot of trees, a lot of soil, a lot of fields, so the water soaks slowly into the soil, okay? Takes a long time to travel through the soil till it gets to a river, maybe even weeks, okay? Whereas the drains, in this one where there's cities and tarmac, that will get the water into the river within half an hour, okay? River here, it might be that the geology of the area has got like very hard rock underground, which doesn't let the water soak in, impermeable rock like granite, okay? So the water doesn't go into the ground, like doesn't get into the rock at all. It just does, it goes through the soil and straight into the river. This river might be in an area where there's permeable rock like limestone. So when it rains, the water seeps through the soil, seeps through the rock and goes underground, okay? And takes a lot longer, maybe even years to get to the river. This river might be in an area where there's been a lot of rain over the last couple of months and the soil is already saturated like a really heavy sponge and it's not going to soak up any more water, so it just runs straight off the saturated soil and into the river. This river might be in an area where there hasn't been rain for a while and the soil soaks it up very, very rapidly, absorbs it right through, okay? This river might be in an area where it's at the bottom of a very steep valley, so when it rains, the water gets down the valley very, very quickly and into the river. This river might be in an area where the slopes are much more gentle and it takes a lot longer for gravity to pull that water down into the river. So there's some differences in your two different hydrographs and why this one has a short lag time, a very steep rising limb and a very high peak discharge, which makes this river much more likely to flood because it's a flashy hydrograph. You've heard of flash floods, where floods happen very quickly. That's where that name comes from. And this one here is a river that is much less likely to flood. It has a very long lag time. The river can take time to absorb all that rain that's going to come down, and then therefore it will not really ever get too full. It's not going to flood, and it responds nice and gently both before and after the peak discharge. So I hope this video tutorial is useful. I hope it's going to upload to Teams or wherever I'm going to upload it so that you guys can view it at your leisure and understand hydrographs a bit better. Okay, thank you.